Hi. Today we have a music and sound M&S systems model DMC3-4, and this was sent in by a customer, and it has an unusual problem that I haven't seen before. Music and sound DMC models, whether it's a DMC1 or a DMC3-4, are really the same as a NuTone NM100 and NM200, so this video applies to all of those different models. Common problem on these, which the customer didn't point out, but it's obvious to me, and it will be a little hard for you to see. Maybe not as hard as it is for me because the camera picks it up better than what I can see. The LED backlights on the display are out, so it's really hard to read the information on the screen. But that's not why he sent it in. He sent it in because he said he was having problems with the buttons and the functions that they're supposed to operate. He specifically pointed out the power button, which is this one right here where it says power, that he would have to press it many times to get the system to turn on or off, which obviously sounds like a switch problem. But what I found is somewhat different, and I'm gonna try to see if we can get this to do it. It did it on the pre-testing, and let's see if it does it now. So if we push power, what's supposed to happen is the system's supposed to turn on the audio, and it should turn on to whatever the last audio input was, which is either auxiliary, CD, AM, or FM. So if we push this, that time it turned on. It does say, I think it's auxiliary. It's hard to see because the backlights are out. But then I pushed it another time as if I was going to turn it off, and now it switched into the menu for the master speaker volume. The menus are accessed through the tone button, not through the power button. So there's confusion on the buttons. Now it doesn't seem to be doing anything at all, just like the customer described. If we push the tone button, we can scroll through the menus as you would expect, and apparently we can adjust settings. We can switch our sources. It is switching. It's hard to do because it's hard to see. Now it seems to be working perhaps correctly. But the power button seems to be intermittent because it's off and then it's on, and that time it should have turned off and it didn't, and it didn't, then it turned off finally, but there was a pause. It should have turned off instantaneously. So this is the very first time I've seen this on a DMC or what would be a NuTone NM series model of music and sound intercom. We have seen this on other music and sound designs, most commonly on the MC602, and I actually have a series of videos where I show a similar thing happening on a customer's MC602 from Florida, a fellow named Frank. This is the first time on this, and it does follow sort of one of the basic rules of the repair business, which is time changes everything. As systems continue to get older and older, you start to see new and different problems that you didn't see before. This particular unit was installed, according to the customer, in 2012. So it's about 11 years old. Perhaps this is a one-off, or perhaps this is a pending trend that we're going to see with problem with switches. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disassemble the entire thing. I'm going to replace all of the switches. So we've got 5 on this side, 5 on this side. The intercom switches are a different style, so that's not relevant. But we're going to replace all of them because it doesn't make any sense to play pick and choose. When you replace it, you should replace it all. And here's actually the type of board that the switches are on. This is a display microprocessor board out of a different DMC. And you can see all the little blue tactile switches up and down each side. And all of those are going to get replaced with brand new ones. So let's see how it goes. A short amount of time has passed, and now you can see the display more properly. That's because the backlight LEDs have been replaced, and I can actually see it. It's surprising because the camera is more sensitive to the display than the human eye, so you might have seen it pretty well in the first part, but it was very dim and hard to read here, especially which input it was on and things like that. So all 10 switches have been replaced, and now when we turn it on, it turns on. We have auxiliary. We can switch our source. We have AM, FM, and CD. And I can read all of this clearly. Like the little input lettering is very small, but it's easy to read now because the LEDs have been replaced. And if I press the power button, it simply turns off and on and off and on, and it's not going into the menus or doing any of those kinds of things. That seems to have fixed the problem. We can access the menus. We can switch it to FM. I don't have an antenna hooked to it, but we do have some strong stations that it might find something or not. So anyway, so we'll stop that. We can raise the volume, lower the volume. We can program a preset, even though there's no station there. And power off, power on. So replacing the switches solved the problem that the customer described. The new LED backlights make it so you can actually read the screen now, which is a big bonus. And I'll do a little bit of final testing with a couple intercom stations to make sure everything functions right, but I have a feeling it would. And that's pretty much it. So is this the forecasting of an up and coming problem? Maybe. I did have the tactile switches in stock because it is the same switch that's used on many other music and sound and also NM series NuTone intercoms. I hope you found this interesting, and perhaps for someone it will be helpful. If it is, give it a thumbs up on YouTube, because that helps us a little bit. There'll be a banner right here that shows you how to subscribe. Go to our YouTube homepage, click on the bell, and when you click on the bell, click on it to receive all notifications, and every time we post a new video, you'll get a notification and you can watch it. That's all for today. See you on the next video.